Hi everyone, welcome back to the Model 3 Man channel, and if you've been following recently, you'll know that I'm in the middle of Tesla repairs to Red Dragon after hitting a deer or the deer hitting me. I guess it depends on your perspective. Last week I provided an update of the first half of the repairs, and today I'm happy to share with you it's done. I have the car. I went for a drive this morning all the way down to Horseshoe Bay just to test that everything is okay. So in today's video, I have some very interesting live repair footage of what happened to the car in the repair shop. I think everyone is going to be interested to see that, courtesy of Stephen Lowe, the production manager down at the repair center. And number two, I have some very interesting and important points for those of you who have not yet had an accident in your Tesla, but I'm sure down the road somewhere we all have accidents, and you need to make sure you do it the right way. And I'm going to share in the conclusions at the end of the video exactly what to avoid or what to do to make sure that your repair experience is the best it can possibly be. So, Red Dragon is back. Before launching into the video, let me just take this opportunity to thank 3 people who during the last week donated to our PayPal fund: Daniel, Lisa, and Eric. And you guys know who you are. I'm not going to give last names, but I appreciate every donation. Thank you. The MacBook has not yet arrived. Due date says December the 9th. December the 9th. That's nearly Christmas. So on the 10th of November, which is 2 days ago, I received that phone call. That phone call, not the one we dread, but the one that you anticipate. And it was Stephen Lowe, and he said to me, just want to let you know, your car's ready whenever you want to come and pick it up. I think it's useful to give you a very quick timeline of how long the repairs took and all the things that happened along the way. So here it is. Number 1, October the 11th, the accident. I hit deer. Deer hits me. Number 2, October the 12th, the very next morning, I drove down the car with a shattered windshield down to number 1 collision, handed it in, and made contact with the production manager, Stephen. Number 3, on the 13th of October, this, bear in mind, is the next day after taking the car in, I get an email from Tesla, a spreadsheet that details all of the parts that have been requested. 17th of October, Tesla wrote again, but this time, there were tracking numbers, DHL tracking numbers for all of the parts that were on the spreadsheet, all on the requisition list. And on the 22nd of October, Tesla sent their last email to me with update number 3, giving me the fact that most of the parts had already arrived and the delivery times and dates of the outstanding few items. On that same day, I received an email from Stephen, and he sent me photographs of what they'd done so far. So I received the photographs that I shared in the last video. October 26th, bodywork done. Stephen emails me to say we finished the bodywork. Everything has been done and we're ready to send the car into the paint center. On the 28th of October, Red Dragon was in the painting booth, and Stephen took a lot of interesting video, photographs and video of all of the processes, including a little time-lapse video surrounding these activities. I'm going to show that to you after the timeline. November 1, Red Dragon's paint job was complete, but of course the paint needed to cure. And then from the 3rd to the 9th of November was the rebuilding, the installation of the windshield, and you'll see that in the video coming up, the calibration of various sensors. And on the 10th, Stephen gave me that call and told me, come pick it up. Now, how long did that take in total? Well, if you look at the timeline going from October the 11th to November the 10th, a day short of a month. Let's call it a month. Let's call it even. 1 month from start to finish. And my initial Red Dragon accident when I was rear-ended from behind, obviously, when I was rear-ended, it was 2 months and 3 weeks. Very, very different experience from those early days. Here now is some of that video that Stephen was kind enough to shoot, compile, edit together. This will give you a good insight to what happens to our vehicle when they're in a repair center. You get a good idea as you look at this here. So I hope that was just as interesting and fascinating to you as it was to me when I saw it. Of course, I then got the 3-page invoice. There are some interesting items in here I just want to mention, but as you can expect, the labor and the assembly and the repair formed a much greater part of the overall cost of repairs than did the parts. Here are some interesting prices on various items of the car. So if you've ever wondered how much things cost, well, I don't know whether this is wholesale price or it's the retail price, but take it for what it is. The windshield glass, $680. The front left door shell, that's the driver's door, $935. Left front door rear view mirror. Now the rear view mirror has a shell around it, it has glass, and it has the mirror assembly. Prices on that mirror were $510, $220, and $42, totaling the sum total of the parts used in repairing and replacing that outside mirror. Left rear door, $880. The left quarter trim panel, $240. So you can see, parts are not cheap, but given that this is not a Mercedes or a Jaguar or a Rolls-Royce, I'm sure the Tesla parts are a lot less expensive than those would have been. As I was handing in the Toyota car rental, I met Bill Christensen, the general manager of the operation. Stephen walked me out to the car, made sure that everything was as it should have been, and I did a quick and cursory walk around and inspection of the car. An amazing job. I could not tell any difference between the color of the older parts of the car and the color of the spray painted areas. And it was smooth and it was glossy. It's beautiful. Everything is just back to the way it was. And sitting in that car, driving off the lot, getting back onto the road to go home was just an absolutely amazing and pretty emotional experience. You've been without the car for a month. You've had to drive this really awful thing that vibrated, smelled, made a noise, and suddenly I'm back in Red Dragon. Of course, one of the things that you will always discover when you've had a car repair and it's involved the cameras up at the top and the autopilot system is that you cannot just double tap on the stalk and get back into autopilot. The camera needs to calibrate. So if I try and enable autopilot now with the calibration incomplete, I get that message. Continue driving to allow calibration to complete. And near the end of that trip, on the way home, just getting back onto the freeway, it completed its calibration. I double tapped the stalk and I was back in autopilot once again. All of the time that the car is in repair, you realize, of course, that they put it into service mode. So if you try to look on your app to see exactly what's happening and if it's being driven, it will not show you that. It shows you the basic information, but you do get to see the doors pop open, the front and the trunk. You get to actually see them doing stuff to your car, minus the actual people in the shot. So we have some limited connectivity with our car through the app, but when it's in service mode, you're just not going to see a whole lot. But when Stephen phoned me, he said, look, I put it back into regular mode. It's out of service mode. You can reconnect with your car, check everything, and make sure you've got connectivity once again. So I said I would share with you some things that, should you get into an accident with your Tesla, that will be helpful to know in advance of taking it for repairs. The first of these is, you can be sure that communication from Tesla has greatly improved. Whenever they have a request for parts for your car, they send you an email. As those parts are dispatched, they send you an email. It's in the form of a spreadsheet. It has tracking links. It's really good. But number two, Tesla's speed of parts supply has dramatically improved. In those early days, 3 years ago, you could hardly get them to part with their car parts because they were so busy making cars and supplying the demand that they were kind of reluctant to just send parts off for repairs. But nowadays it's very different. On the second day after they received the request, parts were already being shipped out. Number three, it's really important to select the repair center that you're going to take your precious Tesla to. There are only a limited number of Tesla authorized repair centers, and that's good. That narrows down the field. But let me tell you today that I tried to do quite a bit of online research from people that had been to various repair centers after their Tesla was involved in an accident, and I had heard nothing but good things about this particular operation. So I have no hesitation. I haven't been paid to say this. I haven't been given special favors, but Number One Collision is what it's called. It's down in Richmond, and they were superb from beginning to end. Their communication between production manager Stephen and myself was great. He sent me emails. He phoned from time to time. He made videos and captured photographs and shared those with me just because he knew I would want to know what's happening to the car. So number 3, it is very important to choose the best repair center that is near to you that you can possibly use, because the quality of the work, after all, is everything. And number 4, establish a relationship with the point person, with the connection person. In this case, it was Stephen Lowe, production manager. I made sure that I communicated well to him and was polite and complimentary, and he in turn was exceptionally good at keeping me updated throughout the process for the duration of that month. Just making sure you have that relationship, super important. And then number 5, when you do pick it up, if you love the job, if they've done a good job, tell them about it. Make sure that they understand that you're happy with the repair, and you would be happy to refer others to their center, which is exactly what I'm doing here in this video. So does it feel as though I'm driving a second-rate, badly repaired vehicle? Well, obviously not. You can see how pleased I am with the repair job they did. So be thankful for your Tesla. Look after your Tesla. Try not to get it into an accident. But if you do, take great care to follow these 4 points here and make sure that it gets repaired somewhere where they really care about it. Once again, thank you for your support of the channel. Thank you to those PayPal donators who really do help and contribute to the growth of my channel. And I will see you next time.